Joining us down in Spain, down in Seville, one of my favorite places, Skydive Spain, Armando Fattoruso. Hello, my friend.
Hi, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been too long.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Too long. But I'm still following you, man. I don't know if you can see, but my girlfriend has your same, how you say?
Activity,
inspiration.
hobby?
Like she likes painting. And when I follow your channel, I show her, look, how it's good it is. And you inspire her to make this kind of portrait.
That's one of hers, right?
Yeah.
I like the color choices. I like it.
And I have several now in the house. It's big, the house, so that's why. And the computer is heavy.
Has she sold any yet?
No. She really painting just for herself. Like, we move in this house completely white, big, and she feel like, okay, no, I need to fill up with something. And I have to say that we have basically all the walls here.
Oh, nice. I like that's very similar to my kind of style, actually.
Man, it's incredible because she finished really last winter.
Yeah.
And when I saw yours, I say, look, you guys have some kind of connection, because it's really not the same thing, but the same path, the same energy, the same intuition, the needed. So I really like. I study arts when I was young, so that's why.
Hopefully, I'll be back there at Christmas for the Boogie de Navidad, so we can get together and do some.
Exactly.
So, Armando, we're going to see each other. We're going to see each other in what, 4 weeks?
Yes, less than a month, actually. Kind of. Yes, very soon, man.
It was 50 days, wasn't it? One day last week or something.
Correct. So exactly, like with Mario, my brother Mario, we already looking flights, ESTA, all the visa, all the paperwork, because straight in.
Yeah.
We go.
It's a strange time because a lot of us haven't really traveled. I know you've been traveling a bit, but many of us have not really traveled much in the last 2.5 years, 3 years.
Correct. Like I have to say, in the last 2 years, I've been lucky to travel not for training, but to compete, because some events were still on. And I was in a kind of situation that's, as a country, vaccination and so on was good. I just came back from a week of training in France with my brother and the French team. Yes. And that's why we are all excited and start to push hard for
being... So who was there? Cedric, Nick Kodiak,
Kevin, Sushi, Nick Gallo, Nico Kodiak. There is a new entry in the French team. So it's a very good formation. And honestly, the drop zone was super friendly. We got the planes for us. We shared the big planes with the other fan jumpers, but best place ever to training in. And honestly, weather-ish, we were south of Paris, man, incredible hot, Yeah. Incredible hot. Half of this sun is thanks these weeks.
So what were you training? Were you training these World Game rules that you used in Dubai?
Oh, definitely, yes, exactly. The World Game rules are slightly different respect to the general FAI rules, excepting for accuracy. Accuracy is the same, and freestyle judge events. So what it changed is the speed. We still have to perform a carve, but with less degrees. So in theory, it seems easy, but there is a water touch before the entry gate. So usually all the swoopers try to aim for the highest point of the entry gate in order to achieve the maximum speed.
On speed.
But this time, exactly. But this time we need to be lower, do the water touch before the gate. Not easy. I mean, it's not that crazy difference, but strategy-wise, it's different. It's different. Make you think different on the approach. And then
on the mutant, right?
On mutant, and even on normal harness, it's not easy, because usually you look into this kind of approach when you do distance. But distance, you go straight. Here, you need to perform a carve.
Yeah.
So you need to coordinate a lot of things while you are, because the ideal point is to touch the water just before the entry gate, and then make the carve.
Yes.
But if you are late on the reaction for half seconds, you start to making the long carve, and you start to lose the speed and the score and the points that you're looking for. So
is it a carve? Is it going to be a right-hand carve? Is it? Or left?
No, I look at the map and will be left third. So
you'll still be going for the right-hand side of the gate.
Yes, you try to aim to stay far from. Sorry, you're looking to be close to G1 right side.
Yeah.
Close on the G3 left side. Close to G3 right side. But again, in Dubai last year, last winter, we were competing on this, and I have to say that many of my colleagues, rather than to approach straight in, we were performing the longest carve, because it sounds stupid to say, sorry to use the word, but making less degrees and the water touch make it harder to carve. Like in the training, in the practicing, I find struggling to finish the course like, yeah. But again, it's very really matter about how you react in the course, because you must anticipate the carve that you have to perform.
I mean, the speeds that we're going through there, it's fractions, less than 2 seconds, just over 2 seconds and you're through.
Yes, my friend, yes. So that's why you almost have to anticipate the carve. If I can give you an example, like motorbike, once they are approaching on the carve, they are not carving inside the carve. They start already to push themselves, to push the imbalance before attempt the carve in order to achieve the smoothest line is possible. Same here. The difference is that we were doing the same on the classic speeds, but as again, you starting from the highest point, you have nothing on the side. So even if you are late, you're still performing the carve. Now everybody is approaching lower, and have the buoy here makes you think, because what you want to avoid is to hit the buoy.
Yes.
And get the penalty, slow you down, or stop you completely. So stay with the buoy high, that you basically you have, my point of view is to have the buoy here. I don't need to wait to pass the buoy and then carve. I'm late. I need to I want to touch it. I'm going there and I want to touch it. So of course, in theory I should not. But my ideal plan is to aim for the G3 buoy, and I want to hit it. Like this, I'm sure that I'm performing the closest points in order to carve and finish the rest of the course.
And what kind of times were people doing in training with you in the French?
Oh man, in French, I have to say, do a good wind push and good weather and many jumps on it. The last 2 days I was really, not every single jumps, but close to the 2.0. So I did my best time ever, because we set up the timing. Yes. It was 2 seconds, but I did it several times, like 2.005, 2.007, 2.008. And not the drop zone is not a high sea level, so it's average 300 feet, I guess, from above the sea level, so not that crazy. And there was neither really a strong wind push that usually help when the wind is pushing through the course. Man,
we're going to see some.
My brother look at me and say, like, not bad.
Yeah.
So,
what about with the distance? That's going to be a touch. It's going to be a longer gate.
Exactly. Distance again. We did this kind of test event in Dubai.
Yeah.
And you have to make a choice. I mean, they split it almost like accuracy to drop several points in the water. And for the water, I mean, you need to touch zones that are scored in different points. Plus, you can achieve points every single meter you go ahead. So basically, they don't counting anymore the meters far from the G1 starting point, but they count the points that you collect in the water, touching the water, and the meters that they change in points from 100 meters onwards, basically.
Yes.
And basically, that's make difference, because there will be people that's aiming to have more points in the water, even if it's a short distance. If I'm not wrong, there are 60 meters of water points, of water gates, sorry, and 80 points. It means that if I drag 60 meters, I got 80 points. If I score 100 meters, I got 100 points. Yes. So there will be people that might choose to drag the whole water and land short because they achieve 80 points and something on the ground.
Yes.
Or people that say, no, I drag minimum points in water, but I will go far.
Interesting.
So it's really matter about choosing by the wind, by the speed, because again, is a powerful event. But as you wanna stay close to the water, you will lose speed because you for drag the water, you will stop. You slow down.
Yeah.
Because you're touching the water, your body's big, so you receive some drag. It's matter of choice. Like in Dubai, for example, I choose to drag waters, and I did several good distance, and makes me arrive at 4th place overall in that let's say in that specific event.
Yes.
There were people that's why, because it was a test event, so nobody knew really the strategy, that was doing different, like drag half of the water and try to go further. Yes, they land further than me, but points wise, they lose points because their distance was not that, let's say, the double of my distance.
Yes.
So the pilot has to really balancing and strategy what he really needs. And this, I think, is dependent mostly by the wind, the condition. Because if it's a headwind, you will not make a long distance anyway. So maybe it's better to get more water points. Downwind condition, it might help way more to gain point in distance.
Yeah.
It's very personal. Really, there is not a really clear strategy on this. It's really personal.
Is there a danger of zeros, like missing the first water gate, anything like this?
So in Dubai, in this test event, many people lose points more than zeros, because the only vertical gate, there is no G1 vertical gates.
Right.
There is not. There is just gates in land that you must fly below it, and then you can pop up and fly further. But in theory, there is no vertical gate to miss. You need to just drag a water point.
Yes.
What they were missing, the points, is that the last zone and the second zone were mandatory. If you don't drag that zone, you don't get zero, you got minus points of that value zone. And for example, the last zone was 30 points. As I told you, there were 80 points in the water.
Yeah.
You missed the last gates, 30 points less. So you don't score 30 points less. You got minus 30 points. So you passed to achieve 80 points.
Yeah.
To 20.
Wow.
That's changed a lot, man. That's changed a lot. That's why it's tricky, because it's neither like accuracy that you need to cut the line. No. You need to just touch the water in that zone.
Yes.
So in theory, you can touch the water like 6 times. Tack, 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 and got the score. But there were people that, in order to achieve the distance, they will pop up before touching that zone. And in the calculation, they said, oh, why I get only 20 points in the water? I drag almost 50 meters of water.
Yeah.
Yes, because you missed the last one, and it was heavy on points. So it got reduced not only 30 points, 60 points. Because are the points that you don't achieve minus.
Wow.
Yeah, that's heavy. I think they might change the rules, but according to the last bulletin, it seems like it stay like this. So again, you must stick on this.
I mean, just to tell people why this is happening, it's a special venue for the World Games in Birmingham. There's not a room, is there? There's trees all around. There's not really any outs.
Exactly. So like, it's not a drop zone. So as you say, it's a brand new avenue that there is no ponds. So they're building up right now. So, and in order to compress to maintain the exhibition worth it for that place. They put those rules in order to avoid that we fly too far, or we might achieve distance that is dangerous to land. You know what I mean? Like if I not have a clear space at the end, because there is tree, there is bush, no?
Yeah.
It might be tough for the pilot to perform a good stop and a safe landing before that point. So they swap a little bit those rules. I have to say that they're interesting because as a canopy pilot, I like change, like prove myself a new goal, a new
interesting
objective. Like I like training, and of course I'm training hard for the classic events every single time, but I think as a canopy pilot, I should be able to perform whatever new rules is possible, and of course as long as it makes sense for my safety and so on and so on and so on.
Yes. That's a good point, actually, because when you think about the overriding goal of a competition is to see who is the best pilot, isn't it? You know, it's not to see who goes the furthest, who goes the fastest, who is overall the best at what they can do. And so giving you new goals, new rules, that is testing who's got the skills.
Correct. Like I have to say that this competition will be almost one of my dreams, because I always dream a competition where nobody jumped there before.
Yeah.
And there are rules new for everybody, as long as everybody understand the rules. Okay. So, and that is the competition where you will see really who is the best canopy piloting in the world, because that's what it means. Like you need to challenge yourself between what you know and what you should perform, and that's is where your skills, the material, your equipment can bring you. Yeah. But mostly is the pilot make the difference. Like every single race competition, yes, of course there is always be the car or the motorbike that has a technical advance with respect to the other. But we saw in the history of those races that the pilots has a still big words to say respect to the others.
Yes.
And of course, the most challenging races are where nobody raced before. There is no data that you collect or training performed in plenty of time.
Yeah.
That's what you know, that's what you got, do it. And honestly, I like it.
Good.
I like it.
And the World Games, it's such a big event, biggest multi-sport event outside the Olympics. You were there in Poland in 2017.
Correct. Before was in Italy. There was a no, sorry, it was Cali in Colombia. Before was in Italy in Turin. Yes. Man, it's definitely for the a small explanation to what is the World Games. The World Games are the sports that are looking to become Olympics. And man, if you're considering that as a aerial sports, in this event is just canopy piloting and drone racing, man, we have a big responsibility to show to the humankind basically what is the aerial sport in general, what is the skydiving in general, what is the canopy piloting in the specific. So that there is a pressure on the shoulder to perform well, to perform good, but on top of this is, man, it's worldwide really. Yeah. It's all the world is looking at this.
That's right.
So it's not just a skydiving event, but it's really a lot of interesting sports that few sports were Olympics. I checked the list and there were some sports that were Olympics since while, and they are looking to become back Olympics. So
yes. Oh, they've been in the Olympics in the past and to get back in there.
Yes. I don't remember actually, but there was some lifting events that were Olympics, and then of course depend by the organization of the Olympics what they decide with.
Yeah.
There is some classic events that they will never be changed, like the athletic and so on and so on. But there is those sports that we will perform in Birmingham for the World Games are one step to become Olympics. So, man, it's a great honor to represent at least 50% of the aerial sports there.
Yeah.
Really.
And your training, are you putting the training to one side now, or are you still training while you're down in Seville?
No. I'm still have a training session. Like for training, I mean, I will move in France once more time, one full week with the French guys and my brothers, because I like training intense.
Yes.
Like get in the mode like almost a competition. Of course, always friendly with but be intense off from daily duty, the house, the loves, the works. But of course, during those events, I still will perform my homeworks.
Yes.
Every single time that I show up at the drop zone and I have the possibility to have a fun jumps, training jumps, yes, I do, absolutely. Yeah. But I like more intense training camp, compress 1 week, 10 days, as many jumps as I can, and achieve the skills that I'm trying to define for perform good on World Games.
When you're heading back to France?
Exactly in a month, like between 16 and the 22nd of June.
Right.
We will be in Orleans again, and hopefully, as I told you before, the weather was gorgeous, hot, sunny, no wind at all almost. I hope to have the same in June. Like this will be the official last training camp, but of course, before moving Birmingham, I still have time. But that time is time that's I have to define small things, small details.
But it's getting real. Goosebumps thinking about
it. Exactly.
Armando, it's been brilliant. We've done 20 minutes. It's been great to catch up with you. And I'll see you in a few weeks down in USA, in Birmingham, Alabama.
Man, I really look to hug you, man. Yeah. Too much time. I didn't do it. I see you soon, buddy.
Big love to everybody down there, man. I'll see you soon.
Mwah. Ciao.
Ciao.